Hi parents, my name is Bianca and I am reaching out to you in concerns of your rebellious, non-conforming teenage daughters. I'm directing this to the parents in St. Johns County of Jacksonville, Florida, considering that is the area that I grew up in. I'm familiar with that culture, the opportunities that are around there, and the communities that we have there. So parents, as your teenage daughters begin to develop into young adults, young ladies, they are faced with an identity crisis. They can come across different factors that may tamper with their development. These factors include the following: group polarization, peer pressure, negative influence, adolescent delinquency, relationships, and conformity. They may experiment with different roles, behaviors, and ideologies as a part of this process of developing their own personal identity. There are so many different reasons why your daughters may even rebel at this time in life. We're talking about the 15 to 18-year-old range, and they may push away from you and just authority in general. The main cause of all these factors can be summed up with the need to feel freedom and to be in control of their own lives. As these developmental stages occur and teenage daughters become curious of the world around them, you as parents want the absolute best for them as they discover themselves. There are a few theories that have been put into place to help direct your daughter in the best possible direction, which is why I've made this video for you. So, if your daughter is experiencing any of these things I'm about to mention, then we may just have just the right solution and theory to help you out. You can count on both hands how many times she has conversed with you in the past week. There seems to be no right way to asking her to do anything around the house. Okay. Forget family dinner. She's just not hungry. Your alcohol now has to have a measuring line because it's mysteriously being consumed. You barely see her anymore, and y'all live in the same home. The police have already been called because you don't know how else to say it. You just ain't going out tonight, and you don't know how to communicate it any better than a popo. She sneaks out of the one window that the alarm is not set up to. And how she was able to find that out? You're kind of impressed. You have never met the boyfriend, but let's be real, you've already forbidden her to ever see him again. You have removed the door from her bedroom. Bye-bye. She has run away so many times, you have pre-printed missing signs. Ding! She is now living in the garage. But do not be dismayed. This very girl that you heard me describing, that maybe many of y'all can even relate to, was also myself at one time. And my parents were not bad parents. They were worried parents, and they were determined to straighten out their wayward daughter. In the end, it pushed me to complete rebellion. Lately, working in ministry for probably the past 9 to 10 years, I've established a lot of connections with many teenage girls, and I've discovered a pattern of girls trying to find their identities and parents trying their very best to handle this dilemma. The theory that best supports the cause of a rebellious teenage daughter is that called reactance. This unpleasant feeling of reactance occurs when people feel that their freedom to choose, to do, to say, to act as they intend becomes threatened. So they feel like their freedom is being stripped from them in some way, shape, or form. In turn, this motivates them to perform the threatened behavior, thereby proving their free will has not been compromised. Rebellion. So we have some research and some experiments that have actually backed this up, just doing random things, maybe not even directed towards teenage daughters. An experiment was done by Penny Baker and Sanders in 1976, in which of two signs was placed on a college bathroom wall. One read, "Do not write on these walls under any circumstances," and on the other had been written, "Please don't write on these walls." 3 weeks later, they went to go back to inspect the walls to find that the one that said do not write under these walls under any circumstances had significantly more graffiti on them. So what does this mean exactly? As a parent or guardian attempting to limit reacting when you want to, if you haven't yet, try not to blame your teenage daughter, but rather offer choices and ask them questions pertaining to the situation instead. Since reactance concerns the feeling that there exists a limitation of freedoms, the need to feel they are making their own correct choices and thinking for themselves. So that means try not to attempt to demand and command them around by placing restrictions without first, I'm not saying they're wrong, but without first trying to understand where they're coming from. If not, you do risk the feeling of completely stripping from their freedom and their voice. If they are as rebellious as I was, which is pretty bad, this will only serve to encourage that actions opposite of what you're asking, so that they may experience the sense of freedom. A few other related theories are cognitive dissonance, reverse psychology, and reaction formation. Those three related theories could also come and serve a huge role in trying to solve the best way of coping with the rebellious, non-conforming teenage daughter. So for you parents that are looking for a solution for all of this, what do I say to this teenage girl? What do I do? Or what do I do when it's just beyond me and I've tried it all? Well, we have self-help seminars here in St. Johns County in Jacksonville, Florida. The first Wednesday every month held at St. John's campus, the Celebration Church. We're going to be bringing in some speakers in every day that work one-on-one with parents and this very specific issue in regards to rebellious teenage daughters. That can give you a lot of input, a lot of wisdom on how to manage this correctly without, losing that relationship, that communication, that connection that you have with your daughter. That is very valuable to us. There's also guidance counselors. They're there for a reason. Take advantage of them. There are youth group workshops that are available for you. These three solutions I just mentioned are outlets for you parents to gain understanding and how to better handle the whole teenage nonconformity rebellion. Another way of communicating with them more effectively, coming from a teenage daughter's point of view, 10 years previous, myself, try to allow for more freedom while expecting suitable responsibility. So they do want their freedom, give them some freedom, give them some trust, but definitely have some suitable responsibility. That is key. They need to learn to become adults and take on those responsibilities. Remain considerate during disagreement. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Let's try to stay considerate. It's yours. It's your love. Your little baby. Love them. Try to have empathy with them when in disagreements. Offer calm and clear guidance about any significant risk occurring. Put a consequence and incentive that he or she really cares about. After regulations and consequences are put in place, there is no negotiating after that. This is all done also with your teenage daughter, so they feel that they are making the decisions about themselves and with you. That is not just you commanding and demanding them, but they themselves are also taking part in this. So select one battle at a time and be very clear and have whatever y'all have spoken about written down. I do understand that each daughter is completely different and there is no one answer for nonconformity. But I'm trying to find the most efficient and most effective way of dealing with this, coming from personal experience and what I truly believe would have helped in my rebellious years. I'm on both sides, understanding these teenage girls and their desire for their own identity and independence, and your side for making sure they stay on or get back on the right and absolute best path for their life. And you have a vital role in how to make that happen. We know that after all of this, and knowing reactance and even knowing those other theories that are going to be put in place and that there are self-help seminars, and that maybe this is a better way of dealing with your daughter, that there's still going to be potential issues that arise. Maybe your daughter remains cut off and does not allow real communication to take place. Then that is when we would move to a third party, such as a guidance counselor, or someone that you and her both trust and that you know is going to speak to her out of love and empathy, in order to better, once again, y'all's parent-daughter relationship. And once again, we offer additional coping and discipline seminars for you parents out there. We love you. We want the absolute best for your daughters, and that is why we're here, and that is why I am into this, and I want to see them and your relationship grow and expand. So feel free to reach out to me personally. My name is Bianca Dahl. You can reach me at 904-555-5555. And you can also email me with any more additional questions or concerns. And if I don't know the answer, I will look into it. I will figure out the best way that we can solve or figure out, how to better your relationship with her and coping with it and even enhancing it and making it better. In Jesus' name. But you can email me at biancaisthebomb.com/you're welcome/gmail.com. Love you. God bless.